Well, once again, I am joined by Chris Everett. She is the author of The Prescription for a Healthy Retirement. It's an Amazon bestseller. Go pick up a copy. It looks just like that. Chris, thank you so much for joining me once again.
You're welcome. It's
Well,
always fun to talk to you.
this week we are going to be talking about long-term care. I had no idea about this, but in the book, in this chapter, it's chapter 6, you bring up the fact that about 70% of people that are 65 and older are going to need long-term care at some point, but that health insurance and that Medicare doesn't always cover that. So is that something that when you talk to different clients, do you find that they're kind of blindsided by that fact and that reality?
Some, not
Mhm.
all. Some have taken steps to buy a policy, and whether they have a traditional long-term care policy or maybe some of the hybrids that exist for paying for those expenses, we plug that data into our model to see if it's going to do everything that they're hoping it will do.
Mhm.
Over the last 25 years or so, long-term care insurance has really skyrocketed in cost, the traditional kind. And so some clients have been irritated when they get their bill that says, hey, your premium's going to go up by 30, 40, 70%. I've had some clients who have not been able to get out of that policy simply because of their age and because of their health status at the time. So now they're making a decision. Do I reduce the benefit so I can afford this ridiculous premium increase? Do I, sell my left lung and pay the increase? What do I do?
Mhm.
So all of this long-term care conversation is a real one for, like you say, about 70%. And it must be modeled. You have to see what you should do about it. I know when we turned 50, well, my husband, I said to him at 50, honey, sign this. We're going to buy some long-term care. He goes, I'm too young. I said, no, you're not. He goes, Susie Orman says I'm too young. I said, well, Susie Orman is not married to you. And
To do it.
the longer we wait, the more expensive it becomes. And so he goes, I'm not signing until I'm 55. On his 55th birthday, I said, here, sign.
That's genius.
Do you know that I had injured myself right after we put that application in? I fell and I hurt my back. I would not have been able to submit that application after that fall for at least a year, possibly 2 years.
Hmm.
So, you buy long-term care insurance, number one, when you can afford it, right? Maybe after the kids are finished with college, you can begin thinking about it. But again, there's more than one way to do it.
Hmm. Well, props to you for holding out and waiting the 5 years to get your husband to do that. That's good.
Happy wife, happy life, right?
Exactly. So maybe for somebody that's watching or that's listening and they're thinking about their parent or their grandparent or maybe even themselves, what are some practical steps that people can start to take to prepare for the future? And then especially with long-term care, how can they prepare for that and what steps can they take?
So your question is, how do I help my parents or my grandparents do that?
Well, for that or for themselves, either one.
Okay, right. Well, like anything else, you should really pull all of your facts together, plug it into a model and see what you need. You may not even need long-term care insurance. If you have enough money, you don't really need it. You may want it because it's really efficient, right? You pay a small premium for a very large benefit. And so it may make some efficiency sense. That's why I say sometimes math is not money. You may say, oh, I got plenty of money. What do I need to do that for? But if long-term care ends up costing you, I don't know, 20,000 a month somewhere down the road, 20,000 a month somewhere down the road, do you want to pay 100% dollars to pay for that expense? Or would you rather pay, some small premium of that cost? So it really is up to everyone to take a look and see what they want to do.
Right. Because each person is so different and each scenario is different.
Absolutely.
I know that was definitely something that my family had to kind of figure out. We had to put my grandfather into a living facility, assisted for that, and just work through the challenges that come with that. And it was something that we did not necessarily have a lot of time to prepare for. Something very sudden happened. And so that was the position we found ourselves in. So I'm sure, go ahead.
My father, without consulting with his financial planner, decided that the cost of living increase on his long-term care policy was just getting too expensive. I said, you should have said something to me. I would have helped you with that. So when he got ready to use the policy, it just was not as strong and robust as it could have been. He was in care for a couple of years.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure a lot of people find themselves in that situation, or find themselves kind of in the middle of a assisted care crisis. So what would you say if someone is in maybe kind of how you found yourself, where their grandparent or their parent has changed the policy or has made a few decisions and things just aren't ideal? What moves can they make to get into a better position as far as
your father, you say, put your neck right here. No, well, actually, there's a lot you can do, right? So, I mean, you have to work with what you have.
Right.
But like most people, if they only know what they know, there could be so much more to their decision process if they just get enough new information. So some people have even used reversed mortgages to pay for long-term care. Some people have redesigned some of their assets for leverage to pay for long-term care. Some people rethink their home and retrofit it so that they can have home care instead of going to a facility. Because quite frankly, who wants to go to a facility? Nobody. So there's a lot you can do. And everybody's so different. It's amazing how many solutions you can come up with if you really have all the pieces of the puzzle. You have the nice framework and you begin to build it. You can see what really works for someone.
Well, all of those thoughts and ideas are in your book. It's The Prescription for a Healthy Retirement. It's by Chris Everett. It's on Amazon. It's a bestseller, and you can go and pick up a copy. But Chris, I so appreciate just your insight and all that you have to share. And I think you're so right. It's about just educating and kind of empowering yourself to make better decisions financially. Your book is a great way to do that.
Thank you.